Good morning, everyone. I'm Ina Morbella. We're on the third step of research process, which is the defining and measuring variables. Usually, the researchers are interested on how the variables are differ from one group and another. And also, variables in research has abstract meaning. Many research variables, particularly the interest of behavioral scientists, they created their variables from theory and speculation, which are called the construct. It is the hypothetical attributes or mechanism that help to explain the behavior. Although constructs are hypothetical and intangible, it plays a big role in behavioral theory, can influence the external stimulus and affects the external behavior. Example, the rewards can affect the motivation. The rewards is the external factors and then the construct is the motivation. The external behavior, which is performance. The rewards can affect the motivation, then motivation can affect the performance. Constructs is also a variable that cannot be observed or measured directly. Since yung construct hindi siya directly na name-measure, then kailangan natin ng method para i-measure and i-define yung construct. Diyan na pumapasok yung operational definition. It is the procedure for indirectly measuring and defining variables that cannot be observed or measured directly. There are three steps para ma-measure natin ang isang variable using the operational definition. First is to identify the main concepts of your interest studies. Example, is there a relation between the sleep and social media behavior in teenager? Is the second, choose the variables to represent each concept. Then, the variables in your title is the sleep and the social media. The third step is the select the indicators for each variables. The indicators meaning yung sleep, i-define mo siya. The indicators of sleep, the amount of sleep, the amount and the quality of sleep. Next, in social media, the frequency of social media, the social media platform, and the time of social media use. Ayun yung mga indicator use. Indicator use, that is the operationalizing a construct. You turn your abstract variables into a observable measurement. Next is the scales of measurement. First is the nominal. It is categorical, meaning you cannot have any type of value in category. Example, how important is religion to you? You cannot have any numerical interpretation in measuring your religiosity. Next is the ordinal, or it is logically a rank order. The actual distance has no meaning. Example, lower, the middle, and the upper class. Alam natin na mas mataas ang upper kaysa sa lower pero hindi natin alam yung exact measurement. Next is the interval. It does not have a true 0 point. It has all the properties of nominal and ordinal. The actual distance has a meaning and has point. Example, in IQ. Technically, wala namang taong walang IQ or zero IQ. Pero alam natin yung distance between taong merong IQ 95 and 100 IQ point. Yung distance is 5. Next is the ratio. It has true meaningful 0. Example, length of time. We start measuring time at 0 seconds and we know exactly the time between the 30 and 90 seconds. It is exactly 60 seconds. There's an exact distance between and it has a true meaningful 0. Next is validity of measurement. We all know that validity is the accuracy. First is the phase validity. It is the appears to measure the construct that is supposed to measure. Concurrent validity. It examines the relationship between the measure and the criterion at the same time. Example, group of students takes the two final exam. One is for the practical exam and the other is the paper and pencil exam. If parehas yung score nila sa practical and sa paper and pencil exam, then the concurrent validity occurs. Next is the predictive validity. In construct validity would measure if your research is actually measuring. Example in construct validity, if you an educational program increases emotional maturity in elementary school aged children, the construct validity would measure if your research is actually measuring the emotional maturity. In convergent validity, it accomplished by demonstrating a correlation between two measures. In discriminant validity, it shows that there is no correlation at all. Reliability, it is the consistency. Types of reliability is the test and retest reliability or the successive measurement. It is the test of the same variables on the same individual. The simultaneous measurement or the inter-rater reliability. We would have a different raters to rate the personality measurement. Next is the internal consistency. In split half reliability, split the set of items in half and compute the separate score. Reliability procedure can be expressed as an equation. Measured score is equals to true score plus the error. There are three sources of error. First is the observer error or the human error. Your judgment will often involve the use of measurement. In environmental error, the condition of environment, even the small changes on the environment can influence measurement that can create error. Next is the participant changes. Participant changes in some ways. Um, Maybe yung participants is not focused or in-interview mo siya after work niya, so pagod siya. The modalities of measurement. The positive aspects of self-report measures are the only the individual has direct access to the information about his state of mind and it is more direct measures. The physiological measures they used to determine which part of the brain areas involved in different kinds of memory tasks or processing information about pain. But the disadvantage is the need of equipment. Sometimes the equipment is unavailable and expensive. The behavioral measures. Measures taken carefully by observing and recording behaviors. The other aspects of measurement, the range effect. Using the measurement that is inappropriate on a particular group's example, the grade 4 test to a college student, the ceiling effect. It is the measurement who bump into ceiling and can go no higher, meaning it was too easy, or the floor effect. Test is too difficult. Next is the experimenter effects, the way the experimenter influence the results. Example, kailangan verbatim mo nare-record yung sinasabi ng participants mo. Pero nagkaroon ka ng error in recording the data. Dahil dyan, magkakaroon ng effect yon sa result ng inyong research. Next is the participants' reactivity on how the participants react to the experimental situation. Example, overly cooperative or the participants ay masyadong defensive sa kanyang mga response. Um, to avoid the experimenter bias and participant reactivity, first is the standardized procedure. Maybe kailangan mong i-print out na lang yung mga instruction para wala kang madagdag or mabawas dun sa mga kailangan sabihin. Next is the research study is single blind. The researcher does not know the predicted outcome. Third is the research study is double blind. Both the researcher and the participant does not know the predicted outcome of the study. Thank you for listening.